All right, so are you ready to dive into something really different with me today? It's called The Liat Show.
Okay.
And imagine, if you will, a show that's like a personal journal, a window into Israeli culture,
Hmm.
and a thought-provoking discussion all kind of rolled into one. But here's the catch.
Okay.
It unfolds in real time, almost like a performance.
What's captivating is how Liat, the creator, weaves her personal story with these bigger topics like history, music, even a touch of fiction.
Interesting.
She's not your typical podcaster, though, daughter of an architect.
Oh,
She's a natural storyteller, pushing the boundaries of what we expect from creative professions these days.
you've got me hooked already. So where can we experience this Liat show?
It's all happening on Substack, which is becoming a hub for writers and creators who want to connect directly with their audience, build a community, and even earn income through subscriptions.
That's interesting, especially when you think about how different that is from, say, Twitter.
Exactly. Substack encourages genuine conversations, something we're craving more and more these days. Liat herself stresses that her audience is a huge part of her story, and this is where it gets really fascinating.
Okay.
The show has this recurring segment where Liat chats with her father, Nissim.
Okay, now I'm picturing this father-daughter duo, different generations,
Yeah.
different perspectives. This has to be interesting.
It's intergenerational dialogue at its best. Liat, the tech-savvy creator, bouncing ideas off her father Nissim, who brings a wealth of experience and a captivating storytelling style to the table.
Yeah.
They've talked about everything from the history of construction in Israel to how the Industrial Revolution changed the way we live.
This is reminding me of conversations I've had with my own parents, where we see the same events through such different lenses.
That's exactly what makes it so compelling. You see Liat's passion for social justice and how technology can change the world, while Nissim's perspective is grounded in his own life experiences and traditional approaches.
I can already see how their conversations could challenge assumptions about generational divides. There's so much we can learn from each other, even when we don't see eye to eye.
Yeah. And Liat has thoughtfully provided a way for everyone to join this conversation.
Okay.
The Liat Show is available for free, but she also offers paid subscriptions, which directly support her work.
Speaking of supporting creators, you mentioned something earlier about Substack being different from other platforms.
Absolutely. Substack allows creators like Liat to build a direct relationship with their audience, bypassing the algorithms and distractions of social media. It's like having a direct line to the minds and hearts of people who genuinely care about the content. And you know what? Liat has this awesome opportunity for listeners to become founding members on Substack.
Founding members, that sounds pretty exclusive.
It is a unique way to get in on the ground floor, support a rising talent like Liat, and be a part of something special from the very beginning.
Okay.
She's building a community, and founding members are the foundation.
I like that.
She even encourages those who want to contribute even more to consider going beyond the default pledge, which just shows how dedicated she is to making this vision a reality.
So if someone resonates with her story, they can really become a part of Liat's journey. But what about those who want to support her, but might not be in a position to financially right now?
That's something Liat has considered. She's actively looking for sponsors to support listeners who are passionate about the show but can't afford a paid subscription.
That's fantastic. It makes the show accessible to a wider audience, regardless of their financial situation. That really speaks to her commitment to building an inclusive community.
It does, doesn't it? Liat truly wants to create a space where everyone feels welcome and connected. Now, for those who are ready to jump in and experience the Liat Show for themselves, there are a couple of ways to do that.
Lead the way. Where can we find her?
You can subscribe on Substack for $8 a month, and, that's less than a fancy coffee these days. But it gives you access to a whole world of insights and conversations, or if you prefer, you can find her on Patreon for just $1 a month.
So many options to choose from. It's incredible to think that listeners from 86 countries and 34 U.S. states are already tuning in to The Liat Show.
It's a testament to the universal appeal of her story, her ideas, and the way she connects with people from all walks of life. Liat's reach is truly impressive. It makes you wonder, what is it about her show that resonates with such a diverse audience?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? I think part of it is her genuine curiosity. She's not afraid to ask tough questions, even of her own father, and that brings us back to those fascinating conversations between Liat and Nissim.
Those conversations are more than just family chats. They're a masterclass in navigating generational differences, understanding history through personal stories, and appreciating how those stories shape our world today.
In one conversation, they were talking about public housing, a topic that could sound pretty dry.
Right.
But they brought it to life in such a fascinating way.
You see, public housing is more than just buildings. It's a reflection of social change, economic forces, and even architectural trends. And Liat and Nissim approach it from such different angles.
Liat, with her modern perspective, is interested in the social impact of public housing. But Nissim, being an architect who's seen these developments firsthand, brings a wealth of historical knowledge to the table.
It's like watching two puzzle pieces fit together. Liat asking questions that might not have occurred to someone from Nissim's generation, and Nissim in turn providing context and insights that Liat might not have considered.
It's a beautiful example of how we can learn from each other, even across generational divides.
Exactly. And what stood out to me was how they discussed the challenges Israel faced in housing immigrants after its founding in 1948. Imagine having to build homes for so many people so quickly, while also trying to create a sense of community and belonging.
It's a story that often gets lost in history books, but through Liat and Nissim's conversation, we get a glimpse into the human side of it all.
And they didn't shy away from the complexities. They acknowledged the challenges of integrating immigrants from diverse cultures, the importance of public spaces and building community, and the evolution of public housing design over time.
They even discussed how technology could revolutionize public housing in the future. 3D printing smart home systems. The possibilities are endless.
What I found particularly insightful was their discussion of brutalism. You might be wondering, what is brutalism? Well, it's an architectural style that emerged in the 1950s, known for its use of raw concrete and geometric shapes.
It's often seen as a controversial style, but Liat and Nissim explored its connection to public housing, how it was a response to the need for rapid economical construction in the post-war era.
They challenged us to look beyond the aesthetics and consider the historical and social context that shaped these buildings.
It's a perfect example of how the Liat show encourages us to think critically and question our assumptions.
And that's what makes it so valuable. It's not just entertainment, it's an invitation to engage in meaningful conversations and broaden our understanding of the world.
And through it all, we see this incredible bond between Liat and Nissim, their banter, their shared memories, their genuine affection for each other. It's heartwarming.
Their dynamic reminds us that even when we have different perspectives, we can still connect on a deeper level, and that's a powerful message in today's world.
Speaking of connecting, Liat has this wonderful segment she calls foodie disorder. It's not a medical diagnosis or anything,
Right.
but rather a way for her to explore her passion for food.
It's a brilliant concept. Food is more than just sustenance. It's a reflection of culture, a source of pleasure, and a way to connect with others.
Liat talks about how food has become a central part of her life, influencing her travels, her social interactions, and even her creativity. She even shared a funny story about how her foodie disorder once led her to take a detour on a road trip just to try a famous pastry shop.
I can relate to that. Who hasn't been tempted by a delicious culinary adventure?
And Nissim, of course, adds his own perspective, reminiscing about his mother's cooking and sharing his knowledge of Israeli cuisine.
Their conversation highlights the importance of food in Israeli culture, the traditional dishes, the family gatherings, the way food brings people together.
They explored the evolution of Israeli cuisine over time, how it's been influenced by waves of immigration and global culinary trends.
It's a fascinating reminder that food is not static, it's constantly changing and adapting. And Liat, with her global perspective, pointed out how Israeli cuisine has become a worldwide phenomenon, bridging cultural divides through shared flavors and experiences.
They even discussed how Liat's foodie disorder has led her to discover new cuisines and connect with people from all over the world.
It's a beautiful illustration of how our passions can open up new worlds and broaden our horizons.
Their conversation about food was just as engaging and insightful as their discussion of public housing. It's amazing how they can seamlessly weave together personal anecdotes, cultural insights, and thought-provoking observations.
It's a testament to their storytelling abilities and their genuine curiosity about the world around them.
And I think that's what makes the Liat show so special. It's not just about the information. It's about the human connection, the shared experiences, and the reminder that we all have stories to tell.
It's an invitation to step outside our comfort zones, engage in meaningful conversations, and embrace the richness and diversity of human experience.
Now, before we wrap up our deep dives into the Liat show, there's one more aspect we need to touch upon.
You're referring to Liat's commitment to making her show accessible to everyone, regardless of their financial situation.
Exactly. She's actively seeking sponsors to support listeners who are passionate about the show but can't afford a paid subscription.
It's a testament to her belief in the power of community and her desire to share her work with as many people as possible.
It's a wonderful initiative, and it speaks volumes about Liat's character and her commitment to inclusivity.
It does, doesn't it? It reminds us that access to knowledge and meaningful conversations shouldn't be limited by financial barriers.
And it's another reason why I think the Lion Show is so special. It's not just about entertainment or information. It's about building a community where everyone feels welcome and valued.
It's a reminder that we're all connected and that our shared stories have the power to bridge divides and create a more understanding and compassionate world.
And on that note, we'll wrap up part 2 of our deep dive into the Liat Show.
Stay tuned for part 3, where we'll explore some final thoughts and takeaways from Liat and Nissim's captivating conversations.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the Liat Show. Reflecting on Liat and Nissim's conversations, I'm struck by how they managed to make even seemingly everyday topics like public housing or food feel so captivating.
It's their ability to connect those topics to something bigger, isn't it? They weave in history, personal experiences, cultural insights. It's like they're creating a tapestry of knowledge and human connection.
And they do it all with such warmth and humor.
Yeah.
It makes you feel like you're part of the conversation, sitting at their table, sharing stories and ideas.
That's the magic of the Liat Show. It's intimate, engaging, and thought-provoking all at the same time. And what I find truly remarkable is how they handle those generational differences. Instead of clashing, they use those differences as a springboard for deeper understanding.
It's like they're modeling a way for us to have those tough conversations with our own families, friends, even colleagues, to listen with curiosity, to appreciate different perspectives, and to find common ground even when we disagree.
I think that's a crucial takeaway from this deep dive. The Liat Show isn't just about learning about Israeli culture or hearing interesting stories. It's about learning how to connect with each other on a more human level.
And that's something we could all use a little more of in today's world. So tell me, after exploring the Liat Show, what stands out to you as the most valuable aspect for our listeners?
That's a great question. I think for me, it's the reminder that everyone has a story to tell. And those stories, even if they seem ordinary on the surface, can teach us something profound about ourselves and the world around us. The Liat Show encourages us to listen to those stories, to value different perspectives, and to embrace the richness and complexity of human experience.
Beautifully said. And if our listeners are ready to dive into the Liat Show, where can they find it?
You can subscribe to The Liat Show on Substack for $8 a month, which directly supports Liat's work and gives you access to a wealth of content. Or you can check out her podcast on various platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube.
And remember, if you're eager to be a paid subscriber but can't afford it right now, Liat is actively seeking sponsors to help make the show accessible to everyone. You can find a form on her Substack page to apply for sponsorship.
So there you have it, The Liat Show, a captivating blend of personal, narrative, cultural insights, and thought-provoking discussions, all delivered with warmth, humor, and a genuine desire to connect with people from all walks of life.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah.
We hope you've enjoyed exploring the Liat Show with us, and we encourage you to check it out for yourselves. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those conversations flowing.